What's going on, everybody? So in today's video, I'm going to give you guys a reaction towards this by Muhammad once again. And this is a recent video which titled Art TikTok Has New Delusional Problems. All right. So I don't really keep up with stuff that's trending on TikTok. I rarely go on TikTok, so I get a lot of insight on his channel. All right. I'll put the original video in the description below. So without further ado, let's dive into it, all right?
Who would have thought that a teacher sharing art from one of his students will become the new art community's viral sensation and also cause a tidal wave of uncertainty amongst other unassuming artists faithful to their otherwise underdeveloping craft years after years of effort, and start a train of hate from artists who apparently aren't receiving the same amount of attention for their art.
This is Luna. She was created by a student who thinks nobody will ever like her art and nobody will ever make fan art of the creation she's made. That student's birthday also happens to be tomorrow, so wouldn't it be crazy if Luna went viral and inspired lots of fan art?
Someone actually cosplayed. I wish my illustrations could be that popular enough for people to just take it as it is and then make it into a cosplay or different types of fan art. I mean, technically, I am doing fan art using my photograph as reference and transforming them into illustrations. See what I did there? That is a shameless plug. So if you guys have any suggestions of different, IPs, pop culture type of characters you want me to design, just put it in the comment section below. Or if you have any other original ideas, right? Because I do that as well. Shoot down in the comment section below and let's get back into the video.
Mr. G Help Me, who conveniently goes by Mr. G on TikTok, posted a video on his account where he shared a drawing from one of his students who was a little under the weather, if you will, about their art, saying it wouldn't be appreciated by anyone because of how it looked. Judging from the said drawing, Mr. G posted, "You can tell the age range of the student would rather fall between 0 and old enough to play Mario Kart." Artists on TikTok immediately jumped on the bandwagon to aid the young arts prodigy, drawing fan art and sharing their own versions of the character. The original video from Mr. G immediately racked up a whopping 18 million views.
I think that's, in the end of the day, that's how it is when it comes down to the algorithm, right? If something is popular, then people are just going to then jump on it in order to get their own catapult exposure to their content. So that's just how the game works, unfortunately, in the internet world with social media.
Almost 3 million likes, with people all showing amazing support to the artist and leaving heart-melting comments like these. With the usual toxicity of the art community, this is a breath of fresh air, and I love seeing people come together. This is why the art community should exist. Get together and inspire younger artists to create. Seeing the fan art is crazy. I love every second of it. I wished I had a teacher who was this supportive. Growing up, my art teacher would berate me for drawing all over my papers, so thank you for supporting them. With over 15,000 comments on the original video, the art community on TikTok was immediately bombarded with an overload of cute Luna fan art, with everyone showing support for the young artist on their birthday. While all this short-lived positivity was gladly enjoyed by a large portion of the artists on TikTok, some other self-proclaimed critical thinkers for the ill-fortuned underdog artists, also known as CTFFTIF, it doesn't make any sense, but stay with me here, put forward their argument that the whole Luna situation was quote-unquote male cow fecal matter, saying the artist was terribly bad and shouldn't deserve all the support they were getting from the
Deserve is so subjective. What is deserve in the end of the day, right? I think too many times, even if you take art out of the equation, too many times we equate towards hard work equals success. It equals, the amount of traction you get because you work so hard. But unfortunately, it's not all about working hard. A lot of the times, especially with social media, it's timing. And also whether or not the algorithm favors the content to be exploited towards everyone's viewership, right? In terms of the viewers. So it's not always in terms of your work is amazing, therefore it should get 1 million views. I've seen so many small, even channels smaller than mine, and my channel is less than 100 subscribers, and their artwork is amazing. No one is making art adaptation from what they created. No one's doing that. Why? Because no one knows that it exists. And someone can make a stick figure, and if the algorithm likes it, guess what? People are going to jump on it. So it is what it is.
Art community.
Is it me, or does the whole Luna thing is bullshit? Like, I get that you're supporting this creator, but look at this mess of a drawing. My blind
People are
eye could do
hating.
better.
Of course, in a normal situation, you'll expect all Luna artists myself, but I'll rather leave that topic for an entirely different video. A TikTok video with almost 100,000 views and 7,000 likes tried to appease the small crowd of people who were weeping and mourning and gnashing their teeth at the thought of Luna going viral with ugly art, saying the artist was clearly trying their best while the hate mob was just sitting in a corner making fun of them, which is precisely the idea of every hate mob attack in the art community on TikTok, with one half of people attacking the other half for making an attempt at something they're not. As per not so usual, the video's comments were also
Wait, she gets hater. Oh, wait, she gets hater. I could read. It's just as a typo. Wait, she gets hater now? Okay. Everyone has a hater. That comes with the territory. Even if your work is phenomenal, there's always going to be someone that has their own opinion. Like, they're always going to say something that's the opposite, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, it's not based upon the actual person's, like, they don't have a TikTok channel. It is a teacher that's showcasing the students' work, and you can tell that they are kids. So I don't see an issue with, professional artists or people who are really good at artwork to take that and make something out of it, so that way they could get exposure as well. And yet and day, people don't understand that all tides rises. Instead of looking at it like, oh, this artwork is terrible, how come this gets a lot of exposure? You can look at it like, hey, if if the algorithm is favoring this, let me see if I could do something and sink my teeth into it and see if I could get an outcome from people discovering my content, right? So hating, you're in the end of the day, if you hate so much, you're just gonna get an echo chamber of haters. So now you got to stay in the confines of constantly debunking and hating other people in order to make a profit off of your own channel or whatever you're doing. And do you really want to do that? Do you want to like sleep unusual and wake up, in the morning and look at yourself in the mirror and say, hey, I make so much money off of debunking other people? Like, to each his own. Don't just jump on the hate wagon just because it's cool, That's just my opinion.
also filled with people in support of the young artists and telling everyone to allow them draw whatever they like, encouraging them to continue to make art. A TikTok user posted a video where they discussed in measurable lengths the result of the Luna situation and why other young impressionable artists who hope to achieve a similar height of virality with their art often fall short of the metaphorical popularity tree in their humble efforts of attaining internet fame and virality with their drawings.
A lot of you complain about not being famous on social media with your art, and it's because you're boring. Not you personally, but what you post. Your art can be the most beautiful, scrumptious piece of work that anyone has
Rough skin,
Oh,
scrub, cleanse, and
I don't want to see a bunch of men taking showers. Get this out of here. In the meantime, I'll just showcase my artwork a little bit. All right.
market yourself.
Let's get
unless
back
you're
into
able
it.
to make interesting videos, they're not going to go anywhere. Content has become more advanced. Your speed paints and time lapses aren't going to cut it. Your single photos where you're begging for views are not going to.
Well, I disagree with her. It's not about, because this person is coming from the stance of you have to work harder, because apparently if you're not getting views, that means your artwork absolutely sucks. And that is completely false. It has nothing to do with your artwork being amazing or being trash. A lot of cases, you got to jump on whatever is going on in the algorithm, And if you're not, and you want to focus so much on your own IP, well, good luck, soldier. You're going to be buckling up and doing that for a long time, going through insanity and then hoping for different results. So again, it has nothing to do with whether or not your work needs to be better. There's a lot of amazing artists. I've seen them, on YouTube. They have like around my subscriber numbers, right? They don't really get views. What are you going to tell them? Work harder, work more on your lights and shadows, work more on anatomy, do stuff where you're not getting paid and you're going to spend upwards of like weeks and weeks and weeks on making this one artwork, and they got to go through the editing in hopes for people to see it. Like, it doesn't work like that. A lot of it is to work smart. And for those people who are fortunate enough to have their own original IP and making their original content, you can't just be like, well, tell people, pull them by the bootstraps. You got to just do more. A lot of it is luck. A lot of it is luck. It has nothing to do in a lot of cases with talent. The algorithm is the gatekeeper. I'll say it again. The algorithm is the gatekeeper. So always keep that in mind.
No work. People don't want to see that.
While this part unfortunately happens to be true, artists who post speed paints and time lapses find it a tad bit easier when they add a narration or a relatable story time to the video as they make it, like the video we're watching right now.
I personally don't like it when people are asking me for views. It makes me less likely to engage with the artist. Social media is literally made to engage with people. If you cannot engage with people, whether that be through what you're saying or doing, or their response to what is being posted online, newsflash, you're not going to get anyone to stick around. They have no real reason unless they're super mega fans of your artwork, and that's just not going to happen for everyone.
This sheer need for engagement, either good or negative, is what has created a response-driven community on the internet, often resulting in rage-bait posts and comments about a situation, all in a bid to spite unassuming spectators into leaving a comment on the content as they consume it. While on social media no form of engagement is considered good or bad, people tend to lean into the more negative and toxic side of the community since they know it drives more engagement more often than not, and I'm speaking from experience.
Yeah, and that goes beyond just art. That's just in general. If you put a tagline of saying, let's say, for example, this video that I'm watching on this YouTuber Muhammad, if I say Muhammad sucks, Muhammad's a terrible artist, Muhammad should retire, Muhammad exposed, then that's gonna engage so much people into clicking on the video, and I'm gonna get a lot of haters that agrees with where I'm coming from, because those are the people who probably was fans of him. They probably didn't get a response from him, or whatever he done where he pivot his direction in a different direction on his channel, and now people are like, I hate him. Like, hate is just a strong word, but you get the point. I don't want that. I don't want that as far as an audience. Why would I want to have an audience of people who just strictly focus on hating this, hating that, hating this, hating that? Like, you don't want to do that. Desperation always have a terrible outcome.
The nature of posting on social media is that you're not going to get that much attention. There are so many people online. And if a child miraculously goes viral, why are you getting upset over it? Shouldn't you be happy for them? I mean, seriously. It sucks that not all of us get to be famous overnight. But why are you jealous of a child?
While most people agreed with
Okay, please then explain, how do we make good videos? Okay, I think she responded, the creator, right? Diva Art. And again, it's literally never about the quality of the art. Also, the last video I'm making about this right now. Okay. Hashtag whatever. Yeah, it's not about the quality. Nowadays, unfortunately, it's about the quantity. And in some cases, like, I could just use my channel, for example. I made enough artwork for me to be in a situation where I'm just doing commentary. Why? Because it's easier to produce content almost every day with commentary, as opposed to appealing towards the algorithm. Please, algorithm, please give me exposure with the artwork that I make. And it's going to take hours and hours and hours just to make that, right? Which eventually will burn you out. You know, supply and demand. It's easier to do commentary, especially if you already put in the work to have a pedigree where you know exactly what you're saying, right? As opposed to trying to appeal towards something that's not even real. It's not a human being. The algorithm is not a human being. It's just a SEO. It's just a search engine optimization, which you got to utilize in order to get some exposure. And even that is not guaranteed. So wouldn't you want to strategize, work smart, learn how to articulate yourself, right? And that's one of the biggest issue with certain artists, not all artists, certain artists, they want their artwork to speak volumes because they do not know how to articulate themselves. They do not know how to communicate. And unfortunately, we live in a day and age where you need to develop a mouthpiece, especially if the algorithm is not working for you. So learn how to explain your step-by-step process. Learn how to be self-aware of whatever is going on, whether it's news related towards something that you are extremely familiar with. And then over time, in every single video, like what I do all the time, I advertise what I already made. So now it becomes more like an ecosystem where it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And you don't get disappointed over working so hard, hoping that that one video of this amazing artwork will go viral. Like, stop thinking as if you're trying to win the lottery and start thinking more practical in terms of quantity. How much I could keep pushing out while at the same time advertising the work that you have already done. To me, that's the most optimal strategy as opposed to shooting a Hail Mary. So let me know if you guys agree or disagree with me in the comment section down below.
With the hearty message in the video and started asking the artist to make an explanation on how to make potentially viral worthy videos for artists, other people started expressing how they've noticed this problem evolve rapidly in the art community. I've seen so many people complain about how it's based on pure luck rather than skill, but in reality, it's none of those. It's always been marketing. I was so happy for Luna, and then immediately
I wish she would elaborate more on that because that's extremely important. Be careful with marketing, right? Marketing doesn't mean you have to spend money on ads. Too many people make that mistake. Unless you already have an IP, you already have enough support, or you have enough finances to pay for advertisements, right? If you go to do that, make sure you have a product. Don't just do it because you just want exposure. Because unfortunately, just like many ads, how many times we don't pay attention to it? You know, we just skip. Like, you're forcing us to watch something, and 9 out of 10, we don't engage in what we're forced to see in, right? We want to have something more organic where you give a chance to click on it, right? Call to action. And then if you are impressed with what you're seeing, that's called an impressionable click and engagement. Are you willing to watch the video mainly from the beginning to the end as opposed to 15 seconds, right? If it's 15 seconds, that means it's useless, right? I watch 15 seconds, now I'll move on to something else, right? So marketing, in my opinion, if you don't got the finances, stick with quantity. Keep producing content that you can talk about and just keep rolling it over and over and over, all right? And then have artwork to back up your testimonial of what you are experienced in. Don't just jump into something and you have no idea. Like, oh, I don't know what this is, but since everybody's doing it, I'm going to just jump into it. Don't do that, because you're going to have an audience that you're like, dang, I wish my audience can like this, but they like that, right? So then you kind of defeat the purpose of what you're doing. So that's my opinion.
after I saw a hate video. It's not that serious. I've seen a lot of those complaint videos and even more comments about people complaining they don't get many views and followers. The thing is, a lot of times it's an obvious beginner artist with low quality posts. Nothing wrong with beginners, but you still gotta be realistic and ask yourself if it's really the algorithm being unfair to you or if your content is just not that.
I don't agree with that. Again, I know I sound like I'm beating a dead horse. There are amazing artists, right? Just like even music. Like we will say, oh, the music is trash. Oh, man, because mainstream is in front of your face. You have to, if you want to find something that has good quality, like you got to find it yourself. Don't just, like, for example, even with YouTube, don't just go on YouTube Home and all you got to see is Mr. Beast and Sniper Wolf, right? And PewDiePie, hey, and Markiplier. Of course you're going to see them. You don't even need to log into YouTube to see that, right? Because that is their mainstream. That is the most popular, or Castanet or iShowSpeed, right? But as far as like the smaller content creators with less than 1,000, you have to manually type in their names. And even with that, you have to scroll all the way down to finally find the person's channel. And most people are not willing to do that. We want something spoon fed, right? So this is why, unfortunately, the popular stay popular. And if you're not popular, unfortunately, you have to adapt towards whatever popular people are doing, give commentary or whatever artwork so you can eventually get that type of exposure. But no, it has nothing to do with saying, oh, your artwork is trash. Some cases, it not trash, but it's like you still need work, right? Never ending learning experience anyway. Some people, absolutely. I've seen some videos where the audio is terrible. They need to upgrade the microphone. The artwork needs a lot of, you need more experience with learning lights and shadows and so forth in anatomy, right? I get that. But at the same token, there are people with phenomenal works and algorithm is just not pushing them. So what you gonna tell them? Work even harder? No. Eventually, you have to work smart.
That great. Comments like these and a lot more are why we end up having TikTok accounts pretending to be beginner artists faking their improvement, all in a bid to go viral. A TikTok artist who participated in the Luna fan art support train posted an image of their drawing on TikTok to join the trend and encourage the artist. But to their utter dismay, people on TikTok failed to show them the same unbiased encouragement, making fun of their drawing for being ugly and having weird proportions, with some people calling the drawing ugly because of the long.
Wow, girl, that's not how she's supposed to. Wow, we live in a bizarre world. Wow, very interesting. So a child made an artwork, and you could tell it's a children's level, right? Someone who is probably an older teenager or whatever or above has more experience with making artwork. They sunk their teeth into it to get exposure on their channel on TikTok, and people are critiquing something that's more advanced than a child level, saying that it's ugly. Let me know if that makes any sense in the comment section down below. Wow.
Neck and hands, and others suggesting the drawing will feel like a disappointment to the artist if they saw the weird looking image. Sad and discouraged from making the fan art, the artist ended up fixing the drawing, making it more appealing to the watchful eyes of TikTok, taking away all the uniqueness of the original drawing. It's undoubtedly sad that people have to conform to what others bully them to do with their drawings on TikTok. And while not every artist is susceptible to peer pressure, situations like this happen more often than not. Speaking about peer pressure, an account which goes by Zach M with a username I'll rather prefer not to mention in my YouTube video posted their drawing progress from 2020 to 2025 for people to acknowledge any bit of improvement in their work and commend them for their effort in striving for greatness and perfection in their drawings. The post, which had almost 900,000 likes and a whopping 4 million views, was littered with comments making fun of the drawing as per usual. Looks like bullying's back on the menu, boys. Yeah, I was thinking TikTok had become all positive all of a sudden. Shame. From 1 over 10 to 10 over.
The internet will never fully be positive because people have the immunity of not revealing their identity. So they hide behind an avatar. So think of it like Grand Theft Auto, where if you don't get penalized and it's a video game for doing devious acts, you got to keep doing it, you know? That's just how the world unfortunately works in the internet world. Now, if you was penalized for it and you actually had to show your identity, then most people would not do that, because then they'll get hit with public scrutiny based upon their comments. So it will cut in half, so to speak, right? So that's why I don't take it seriously. It's not real, right? When you put your stuff on the internet, there's a disconnect. So I wouldn't take anybody's comments as like, oh man, I guess I got to fix this. Like, no, criticism is welcome, but for someone to say this artwork is trash, you should fix the arms, ignore them. Like everybody wants attention in the end of the day. And it's pretty sad that it'll go to the lengths of negativity just to get that attention.
100. A tree died for this. Praying emoji, praying emoji. Before and slightly later, crying emoji. You had 5 years. Sorry for ever touching a possibly be a meme account, but either way, undermining an artist's attempt to improve and laughing at them is quite possibly the worst thing to do to people who test their skills with a pencil. While it might seem like little to no progress to some people, it could be a huge lot for the artist, and every little bit of encouragement could blossom into a large tree bearing fruits in the form of art. So keep drawing, my good sir. You have the blessings of the art community, Hobbit.
I'm right in the middle. I wouldn't just give words of affirmation saying, hey, your artwork is good, keep going, keep going. I'm more on the lines of, if there is something to be improved upon, why not just tell the person, right? There's always a balance. Obviously, don't rip them a new one, but at the same time, don't, blow smoke up their butts and say, your artwork is amazing, just keep going. Keep going. It's so good. Keep going. It's like, they don't learn from that. Growth is by being honest. Say, hey, I appreciate your consistency, especially for 5 years, 2020 to 2025. I see the improvement. However, I suggest work on ... blah, 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 X, Y, and Z. Take it as you will. It's just advice, but I'm not saying it out of malice. I'm saying this to help you out if you want to improve.
Look what I drew.
That is not realistic at all. That sucks.
Oh, well, I also did these.
Wow, straight copying a photograph. Not creative, not art.
Creative, recently I started to get creative.
My 5-year-old could do that. That is just paint thrown on a canvas.
Okay, both.
That is not realistic at all.
This video posted by artist Kayla Carlisle on TikTok has almost 900,000 views and is probably the most relatable video on TikTok. Posting a drawing only for the comments to tell
We're at Dave's Hot Chicken.
Get out of here, Dave's. We had Dave's Hot Chicken.
regardless of what type of art you post or how it looks, someone is going to find a problem in the drawing or go to extreme lengths to create one if there isn't any. As I have concluded from experience, someone who criticizes your work without hinting at any improvements they intend for your development is simply someone who wants to hate you for no reason. My teacher used to be like that and it ruined my passion. I had a friend in high school and every time I show her my art,
I think the biggest issue has nothing to do with the critique or hating. Let's just take it from a business perspective. I would rather listen to someone who is willing to purchase the artwork that I produce than someone who is not interested in the artwork in terms of supporting the artist and they just want to critique or just say hateful comments. To me, your words don't hold any value, like even monetization, pun intended. So why should you really listen? Now, of course, if this person has a pedigree of accolades or longer experience than you as far as artwork, and you want to take it from a mentorship perspective, of course, listen to that person, right? But if it's just some random person hiding behind an avatar, random picture, whatever, saying, oh, you should do more of this, like this sense of random entitlement as if I'm supposed to listen to you, then you are out of your mind.
art, she will say rude comments. I feel your pain. Haters are going to hate no matter what, because they see that you are better than them. Sharing art on the internet is now a sport with a high risk, high reward ratio. The possibilities of you posting a drawing and having people call you out and tell you that your drawing is terrible because it unfortunately doesn't meet the same standards as other artists they enjoy is quite high. Having people compare your art with another artist has become increasingly challenging and inevitable at this point. The key to being happy as an artist on TikTok and the rest of the internet is to post drawings you enjoy and are proud of yourself. Not even sure why I have to say that out loud, because I'm expecting everyone to know that at this point. Being a teacher is a sport that doesn't sound as easy as it should. You're tasked with attending to pesky little kids all day long and finding interesting yet entertaining ways of impacting knowledge onto them, since apparently
Yeah, I agree. It's all about just going through adversity and just enjoying the ride. Enjoying the ride. And it's a never ending, learning experience. Even people who are at a master level of doing character designs, why not why not dive into doing background designs? Do landscape design, and vice versa. If they're amazing doing landscape designs, then do character designs. If you can do both, try drawing animals. There's always going to be, or vehicles, right? There's always going to be something that you can grow by doing things that you're uncomfortable, that you haven't really sink your teeth into, right? And even with that, that's how you adapt. So for those people out there who's like, oh yeah, I mastered this. It's like, there's no such thing as fully mastering something, because you're going to constantly find something of inspiration that you can just draw in your sketchbook. And if you want to take into like making an 18 by 24 or a digital painting or vector graphic, go right ahead. And if you're someone who's phenomenal drawing traditional, why not try digital, and vice versa? Sky's the limit.
they're the leaders of tomorrow. But while doing all this, you're also tasked with being fashionable, or so it will seem. That's not what I was expecting to read off the get-go. Is there a scientific reason why he doesn't want his dogs cuddled up in a nice warm pair of New Balance 550s? Gah. Wie viele Socken hat er? My teacher wore Crocs and his toes peeked out of them. Rocking a pair of Crocs while they're comfortable is an abomination if your toes are just plunging through the little holes. Get your little lower body grabber.
Damn!
Okay, point of view trying to draw the other eye. Okay.
Damn! 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 Damn!
For some reason, drawing the other eye somehow proves to be insanely difficult, even after so many tries. Placing them
I've noticed that with like so my brother drew a picture of me and he haven't drawn in years, and he struggled with drawing the other eye. And it just shows like everybody has their strengths and weaknesses. Me personally, I never really struggled drawing the other eye. My problem, and I always say this all the time, is drawing these bad boys, drawing hands, especially when it's like this. That's really difficult. When you got the foreshortening, doing weird stuff like this and have it look anatomically correct. This is easy because it's all in one form, but once you start doing stuff like this, it's like, oh God, foreshortening the tip of the finger and all this stuff. I will be on that for a long time, especially if you're doing, you succeeded with one, then you got another one. Oh no. So you ain't gonna really see me draw a lot of Spider-Man character designs, unless I'm just gonna cheat and either give it some sort of like a random aura to hide the hands, right? Or I'm just not gonna showcase the hands, but then that takes away the dynamic of the action pose. So yeah, you ain't gonna really see me draw a lot of Spider-Man.
closely makes the face look awkward, but drawing them apart ends up making the drawing look like Dasher or a modern day Hey Arnold, which I find rather cute. While some digital artists end up using the forbidden method of copying the first eye and duplicating it to draw the second, traditional artists are stuck with trying over and over until they get a semblance of something that looks like an eye in their drawing.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I do that when it comes down to if I'm drawing a character design, if it's in a front view, right, I will use Illustrator, and if I done one side, I'll just copy, paste, and then flip it horizontal. But if it's like this, like a 3/4 view, I can't do that. I'm gonna have to do the other side. So it really just depends. Obviously, traditional, you can't do that. You got to draw it. So.
Artists on TikTok shared some tips on how they go about solving the conundrum for themselves, which they believed could change the way every other artist draws the second eye. Get a piece of paper, cover the first eye, scribble the front of the paper, and then place the piece of paper on the position you want the other eye, and then you will get a pattern for the first eye. Next, you outline it and you'll get the second eye you want. Sounds quite easy and extremely...
I don't think I've... let me see what I... Do I have... I don't think I have that. Let me see something real quick. Because this is on, right? There we go. It is on. Okay, so this is just showing the perspective. Oh, better not fall down, dang it. All right, there we go. So I'm doing this in real time, right? I don't edit. I just do it. Okay, let me see. Where is display? Okay. Move this right here. This a little bit more down. There we go. So what I normally do when it comes down to drawing an eye, let's just do a quick demonstration. This is an old sketchbook. I don't even think I have enough. Oh, it's funny enough. I drew one eye, but I didn't do two. Drew one eye a long time ago. All right, so I'm gonna draw another eye right here. I use where's my ballpoint pen? I like using a ballpoint pen over a pencil. That's just me. I prefer that. All right, do a quick demonstration. Of course. What the hell? Of course that happens, right? I use a pencil, dang it. I don't want to use a pencil, but I don't see a pen around me. And, there it is. I see a pen. It's just been hiding. Get out. Come on. All right. So normally what I would do when it comes down to drawing if this works. Okay. So normally what I would do when it comes down to drawing two eyes, right? I start off just having a bit of a square, right? Then from there, kind of create the shape, and I work on these simultaneously rather than finishing the full detail on one side and then doing it to the other. So don't do that. And then here, this is where I will just start, freely working on the eyebrows. Eyebrows is a good representation of how you create face expression, whether it's angry, surprised, bored, scared, and whatnot. So I'm just giving it a bit of a worried look, right? You guys are seeing it, right? Move it a bit more closer. There we go. And it's gonna be quick. This is a demonstration. This is impromptu. So, and then from here, I'm just going back and forth. Let's say I'm gonna have the eye looking right here. Looks kind of scared. See, I create a quick circle, and I do it right over here as well. All right, then I put it right here. Do another inner circle. Show the reflection. The eyes, it's always watery, right? Watery eyes. The more watery, I guess it's like the more dynamic it looks, right? And this pen is extremely inky. So here I'm just like adding a little bit of the texture inside of the eye. And then again, see how I'm going back and forth. I'm not trying to finish one side and then do the other. Keeping it balanced. So whatever I've done on the left, doing the same thing on the right. So it's about pacing yourself. That's how I normally draw eyes, about pacing. See? Same right here. Now, see, I'm going back and forth. It's like peppering. It's like adding seasoning if you are into cooking. Paprika, adding some seasoning to each one. So think of it like you're cooking simultaneously, making the appetizer and the entree at the same time, you know? It's the same thing when it comes down to the eyes. You don't just finish one, then you work on the other. Why? Because your brain will simultaneously feel like, oh my God, I did one, but now I got to do the whole thing on the other side. No. Do it both. See how I'm going back and forth, right? Back and forth. Just continue doing it like that. Now I'm going back into the eyebrows. See, that one was light. Now I'm going dark. Now I'm making bolder, committed decisions. You go light to dark. I sound like the Aki way. Then we wrap it up. OMG. Can't forget the Bev. Never. All right. And then you just adding that, and then let's go back, add a little bit of the texture of the lights and shadows. And then if you want to create more volume with the eyes, like what I did years ago at the top, just that this pen is very, very inky, but it's fine. I can still do it. So here I'm going to add a bit more volume. See, more volume here, right? More volume right here too. Add some shadows underneath here. Do the same thing on the other side as well. Okay. There we go. And add a little bit of the eyelashes, just a little bit. See how I did that? Then I went to the other side. And here just going aggressive on this underneath the eyebrows. Create more volume. Same thing. See, I'm just peppering it back and forth. Pepper. That's all you got to think about as an analogy. Just peppering in. Then I add more contrast here. A little bit more darker. Certain sections, so that way certain areas can pop out more. Oh. All right, so this was just a quick demonstration of drawing an eye. So let me know what you guys think down below. All right, support the channel. Always like, share, subscribe. You know, especially liking the video. That really helps out with the notorious algorithm. All right. So I can show you guys close up that real quick of the eye. So move it right over here. There you guys go. All right. So yeah, keep just working on it simultaneously. That's the goal. Going back and forth. All right. So let's get back into this video.
satisfying, but I'll only pass judgment if someone actually uses this hack and successfully draws a convincing set of eyes. Other artists express their dread for drawing eyes and how they face their fears by covering the other eye with hair, which seems to be a running joke in the art community, where artists who can't draw the other eye escape it by covering it with huge fluffy hair. Ingenious, to say the least. Fellow art commentary yapper on YouTube, Rin, made a video on TikTok where they explained how to draw the second eye for people who have problem with it, like yourself and I. The video goes into detail on how to approach drawing the eyes every single time, with a slice of classic Rain humor to keep you entertained along the way.
You show great insights into the visual arts, but it turns out your genius is so great even you can't replicate it. Don't worry though, this time I'll teach you the hidden arts of drawing the other eye. You can draw the one eye already, why not just copy it, flip it, and...
Yeah, she's showing it from a digital on Procreate. I just showed you guys traditional, so
just place it. It looks great. Why even go through all that trouble? You could just use the symmetry tool and just draw it once. It looks amazing. Honestly, why is everybody overcomplicating things? Too bad this method crumbles when you show the smallest bit of creativity. The tiniest angle shift in perspective will have your whole world crashing down. And also, the inverted filter has humbled you one too many times for you not to know that the human face is not symmetrical. Not usually, at least, but we're all still very beautiful. Listen, the way to draw the other eye, no matter the artistic situation you may find yourself into, is to not have another eye to draw. What I mean by that is that you should draw both of the eyes at the same time. You draw the upper lid on the right, then you draw it on the left. You draw the bottom lid on the right, then you draw it on the left. Then the pupil and the eyebrows and so forth. It is much easier to match them. You are, after all, only replicating one piece at a time.
Rin shares other mindfully helpful videos on her TikTok and YouTube channel, and the Association of Art Yappers on YouTube weep for her absence on the platform and the details in their work. While I have occasionally caught myself making this small gesture with my hands when drawing on paper, the problem I suffer with is desperately trying to hit imaginary Control or Command Z keys, trying to go back a step or two when drawing on paper.
Yeah, I never really had that effect personally, but I can see that with other people when it comes down to their they're doing a lot of digital illustrations, and then when they dabble into traditional, which they haven't done in a while, that can have the tendency of happening. All right, so that's pretty much it for the video. Share your thoughts down below. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree with me, and also if there's any suggestions of things, you know, like videos and other content you want me to react to. Let me know. Throw your suggestions down below. And of course, at the same time, right, these are the illustrations I've done in the past few weeks, right, few months as well. Throw your suggestions of different types of, you know, different IPs, different pop culture, different characters you guys want me to design in the future. All right, throw that down below. And that's pretty much it for the video, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.